Good. Thank y'all for being here. Seems like a long time since we've had a press conference, but appreciate y'all being here and covering us as usual. I want to start by recognizing Jeremy Wise of the Dothan Eagle. Been our beat writer for several years, and he's moving on. Done a great job covering us. Always been well informed and fair, and that's all you can ask. Wish him the best moving forward. Before moving to this week's game versus Louisiana Lafayette, quickly want to recognize our players of the week from the game against South Alabama. A solid win in Mobile, the Battle of the Belt, and thought our guys came out of the blocks fast and we were able to hold on to the lead. But a solid win overall. So players of the week offensively was Damian Willis, 100-plus yards receiving, 2 touchdowns. Thought he was our catalyst on offense. Made several big plays that got us going in the first half. Defensive player of the week, Will Cholo, freshman, played by far his best game of his career. I think 2+ sacks, several tackles for a loss. Was really active. I think it's just a peak of what he can be, and excited for him. Special teams was Tyler Sumter. Field goals, PAT's been solid. Really recognizing him going back to the loss versus Liberty. He's kicked the ball extremely well. Done a great job for us punting all year. And then our offensive lineman of the week was Austin Stidham. Graded out at 96%, had several knockdowns. Really answered the bell. Proud of how he performed versus South Alabama. Didn't play his best the week before, but came back and really redeemed himself in a big way. Scout team players of the week, offensively, Hamilton Hawthorne, offensive linemen that were redshirting that we're extremely excited about from the Jacksonville area. Defensively, Darius Wesley. Darius is redshirting this year as well. Joined our scout team a week ago and did a great job. Really had great energy. Special teams is Kyle Cole. Punter, and takes great pride in getting our returners ready. And then last but not least, our two awards. Nathan Harris Service Award goes to A.J. Smiley. A.J. is one of the bright spots on our program. Does a great job getting in the community. Always has a smile on his face. Real positive energy. And then Corey McCullers Spirit Award goes to Hamilton Hawthorne too. So two awards for Hamilton. I think speaks to his growing ability on the field, but also his great demeanor on the sideline. Does a great job with energy. Moving on to Lafayette, huge conference game for us. Probably along with Georgia Southern, the hottest team in our league right now. I think if you go back and you look, really going back to the Alabama game in the second half, from the second half moving forward, up until this week, they played at a high level, and you can see their confidence rising. They're currently at the forefront of the Western Division of our league. They're leading that. First year head coach Billy Napier's done a great job. He and his staff have come in year one and really put themselves in a position to compete for a conference championship. So kudos to those guys. Offensively, just talking about them for a second, I believe Billy calls the plays, and number 1 ranked offense in our conference right now. Really balanced, 230 yards passing and rushing. Have 3 big-time running backs, all of them a little bit different in their skill set, and they use them wisely. I think their quarterback, Nunez, is playing at a high level, really efficient. You can see the improvement from a year ago. Multiple wide receivers that have had over 100 yards receiving, so I think that speaks well of their depth. Defensively, Ron Roberts is defense coordinator, longtime head coach at Delta State and at Southeast Louisiana. Really one of the better defensive minds in college football. He's had a lot of success. They're hard to prepare for. They mix up their fronts. They blitz probably more than anybody we've played in a while. They're really big up front, and they play a lot of bodies, and you can see them getting better. Their confidence is getting better. They had a huge game-winning defensive stop versus Arkansas State to finish that one up last week. Special teams, they're good at all their specialty positions. Their place kicker's been solid. Punter is an Australian punter. I think he's done a really good job both in the rugby and directional punting. And their long snapper is really good. And that's something that doesn't get a whole lot of press maybe, but he does a solid job in all phases there, and they've got several really skilled returners. Aggressive on their punt block. They tipped a punt last week, and that's something we got to be prepared for. Wrapping up here, it's November football, and what I told our team yesterday when we came back after a couple days off is November separates pretenders from contenders. And we're going to find out which one we are, and we'll find out this week. I think the key for us is we got to continue to make steady improvements. I think the teams that make improvements in the month of November and keep climbing and keep getting better are the teams that are able to hold up the hardware at the end of the season. We got to have a great week of preparation. I think this is a team that's playing at a high level, and they're going to come in here with a lot of confidence. So with that, I'll open up for questions. He did. He plays with a lot of confidence. He's probably played as many snaps defensively as anybody we have. And he does a great job communicating. He knows the defense probably outside our coaching staff better than everybody else. So I think there's some comfort with our other players when he's on the field just because he's able to direct traffic.
Coach, Marcus Jones not listed on the depth chart for this week. Can you update his injury status after South?
Yeah, sure. So Marcus injured himself. There's no good time to get injured now. His happened on a phenomenal play. So if you're going to get injured, make a phenomenal play doing it. But he injured his clavicle there on that interception at South. We feel like he'll probably return. He's not going to be active this week. We're hopeful that he'll return at some point this season, though, but he's going to miss this game. He'll be out. And we've got several guys that are probably questionable going into the game. But it's like I said after the game, nobody's going to feel sorry for us. We've been fortunate with injuries probably over the last couple of years. We've had to deal with our share this year, and it creates opportunities. It creates opportunities for the next guy. And at Marcus' position, Terrence Dunlap, Blaise Brown, those are guys that got to step up. We need some other guys, or maybe Orlando Lacey, or Juwan McDowell. Those guys got to step up and raise their level of play.
Coach, you mentioned after last game you didn't talk about the belt entering the game. Now that you brought it back to campus, what's the vibe been like now that it's been returned here?
Well, I've had kind of a weird week. So we basically we had meetings on Wednesday, and our players got the belt on campus, which was something we wanted to do. We had a great student turnout at the game last Tuesday night, and so we wanted to reward them, and because they played a big part of it. They were loud and gave us an edge during the game. So we got the belt on campus, and the students were able to see it, take pictures with it, et cetera. And then I was gone and I had to go for a funeral, and then I was out of town recruiting, so really hadn't been back on campus until yesterday afternoon. So our guys are excited about the win. Probably more excited about getting to 4-0 in our league, and than actually winning the trophy. But it's a big win. It's a rivalry game. Now we're on to the next, trying to get to 5-0.
Coach, can you speak to Sawyer Smith's improvement between his first start and his second?
Yeah, he made big time improvement. I mean, you saw it as well, Jerry. I think it goes back to his preparation. Thought he prepared like a starter this week. His first career start didn't go the way he wanted to, and I thought he responded in the right way, very similar to our whole football team. Responded to a poor performance and came back and put a much better performance together. There's still things he's got to get better at. He played much better in the first half than he did the second, but he's a competitor. Our guys believe in him. Our staff believes in him. I really feel like the more he plays, the better he's going to get.
You guys have been starting to get after the quarterback a little more, it felt like, especially in the South game. How much have you guys worked on that from the start of the season? That was something you said you wanted to improve on from week one.
Well, our defense is built on a few things, and one of them's takeaways. Two of them's creating negative plays, whether it's tackles for loss or sacks. We still got to do a better job on third downs. We got a lot of hits on the quarterback. The other night got several sacks. But we've got to do a better job of getting off the field on third down. We were a little bit better versus South. I think we got to continue to do that. We got to win more one-on-one pass rush opportunities. But we are better. I think guys on the edge are improving. Jarvis Hayes is one that comes to my mind. He's first time really playing defensive end in his career, was a linebacker at junior college. I think he's getting more comfortable and he's getting better. You can see him making steady improvement. Hunter Reese had a better game versus South. And I thought Antonio Showers came in and played, and he gives us another pass rush threat off the edge.
Coach, homecoming this coming weekend. What have you told the team about, this weekend in specific, and could it all serve as a distraction coming off of a win?
You know, it's homecoming is kind of awkward because we got it so late. It's just kind of the way the home schedule worked out. But you know, our guys are more excited about just getting home and playing. It's been a long time. I think it's been the last week of September since we played a home game. So long stretch there without playing in our home stadium. My biggest, I hope our fans turn out and support this football team. There's a lot of reasons to come back. I think that our marketing staff will talk about those later on, but there's a lot of reasons to come back. I know a lot of alumni will come back. What I always talk about to our team on homecoming, this is your one opportunity, because this is a lot of times this is the only opportunity that some of our alumni come back, you know, especially the ones that are far away. They come back and they see you one time a year. Let's make it worth their while. You know, let's make sure that we put our best foot forward and we give them a performance to remember. So, you know, we don't dwell on homecoming a lot. You know, we'll talk about it in passing like I just talked about it. More importantly, it's about defending our home turf. And I think if you look at championship teams, those teams that consistently win defend their home turf, and that's what we got to do this week.
You mentioned that November football is separating the contenders from the pretenders. I know you're focused on this next game, but these next 4 games, how difficult of a stretch is this for your team and to get off on a right note this coming Saturday?
Well, it's going to define our season. You know, Justin, I don't think there's any denying that. This stretch run here, the next 4 weeks are going to determine, you know, our season and we're, you know, not only where we finish in conference standing, where we go bowling and all those kind of things. So you got to approach it week to week, you know, and this week we play a team that's dangerous. You know, they're gaining confidence by the week. They've played an extremely tough early season schedule. They played Mississippi State, who was 16th in the country at the time. They played Alabama, number 1 in the country. And they've kind of handled those losses, bounced back, and now you see them making big-time improvements. And I think that's a credit to their coaching staff. And, you know, we've got to figure out a way to play our best and keep getting better, you know. And that's the thing that I was proud of our guys about versus South Alabama is the first half offensively we played at a high level. The second half defensively we played at a high level. We need to put those two together, and then we got to put 4 quarters together. Yeah, he will. He'll be questionable going in the game, so we'll know more about him later in the week. Marcus is definitely out, and we'll know more about DeAndre later in the week. Anybody else? Hey, finishing up, I want to move on to one other item that I want to hit, and I think it's even more meaningful since we have some high school students in attendance. But I want to take a couple minutes and talk about the Lutzy 43 Foundation and their new initiative, the 43 Key Seconds. Mike Lutzenkirchen is a good friend of mine. He came down and visited for our Georgia State game. And the Lutzy 43 Foundation was founded by Mike and his family after their son Philip was killed in a single vehicle accident in the June of 2014. And the Lutzy 43 Foundation exists to create positive ambassadors for safe driving. Just on a personal note, when I was the OC here before, I guess in 2008, 2009, we were the first school to offer Philip a scholarship here at Troy. We were the first one to offer him a scholarship. He went on and had an outstanding career at Auburn, and he was coached at the time at Lassiter High School by Chip Lindsey, who's now the offense coordinator at Auburn, another really good friend of mine. And the Lutzy 43 Foundation has done a ton of good work, and we've done several of their initiatives in-house. They've got a book that they do a really good job of teaching character and some principles. And this new initiative that Mike and the foundation has started, I want to spend a couple minutes and talk about. Distracted driving is a leading cause of death in drivers ages 16 to 24. And this hits especially home to us. You know, we've lost 2 student athletes during my tenure here as the head coach. Nathan Harris in a motorcycle accident, and then Corey McCullers in a vehicle accident. And I obviously everybody on our team is within that age bracket. And the purpose of the 43 Key Second campaign is to produce safe and successful lifelong drivers. It's and the basics of it is it's simply taking 43 seconds to make sure you complete this quick checklist. Clear your head. What's that mean? Make sure you clear your head. You're not affected. Alcohol, drugs, and your emotions. I think emotions at that age tend to affect as much. Second thing is clear your hands. Get your phone out of your hands. Don't have your hands on the radio. Third thing is clear your eyes. Make sure your eyes are up on the road. Fourth thing is click it. Buckle up. And the fifth thing is turn your key. And I've got these are lanyards with this key that says 43 seconds to distraction-free driving, and these are available. And I urge all our fans, everybody listening, Troy supporters, to support this initiative. And like I said, it hits close to home here at Troy. I think it's definitely a worthwhile endeavor. And to get more information, visit at lutzy43.org. So thank you all.